Hi guys, yes, que kalos to another episode of Dimitra's Dishes. Today we are making a classic Greek recipe, lemony roasted potatoes, patates lemonates. There are two ways to make them and I'm going to show you both. People are very serious about their potatoes, so I'm sure you are too. You choose which way you're going to do them. I'm going to give you both options. The first way is going to be, you're going to end up with a nice crispy potato, crispy on the edges, soft on the inside, but there's really not going to be any sauce in them. If you like it that way, go for that version. The second version leaves you with a lot of that decadent lemony sauce. They're kind of brothy, not too many crispy edges, except maybe a few on the top, but you are going to be left with that luscious lemony sauce that everyone loves. Let's get started. So here I have russet potatoes, also known as baking potatoes, that I've peeled, and I have them soaking in some water. While I juice the lemons, they're just going to sit in the bowl so that way they don't turn brown. So we're going to need lots of lemon juice for this. Each batch of potatoes that I'm going to make is going to need about 1/4 to 1/3 of a cup of lemon juice. That's usually the juice of 2 to 3 lemons. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. We'll do 6. I like my potatoes lemony. You can control how much lemon you put in your food. This is just how I like it. So I'm just going to juice them in this bowl, and then I'll strain out the seeds afterwards. All right, so now it's time to cut the potatoes. I'm just going to quarter them. I'm going to try to dry some of the water so that way the knife doesn't get stuck to the potatoes. So I like to keep them in bigger quarters, just like this. And if some of the potatoes are thinner, you could just do halves. So both of the pans are ready. Now we're going to season the potatoes. So both of them are going to get a healthy drizzling of olive oil. 1/4 to 1/3 of a cup is preferable. In Greek cooking, we do put a lot of olive oil in our vegetable dishes. 2 teaspoons of salt. So 1.5 to 2 teaspoons is what you're looking for when you have this many potatoes. Some freshly cracked black pepper. Some dried oregano. Now crushing the oregano in your palms and like this, breaking it up like this, releases the essential oils, which means more flavor. Then we're gonna add about 1/4 to 1/3 of a cup of lemon juice, whatever your preference is. Now I'm just straining out all of the seeds that happen to fall in here, which are a lot. And then in this pan over here, I'm going to put about 1/2 to 3/4 of a cup of water. This is going to help the potatoes cook. And then that water, most of it is going to evaporate while they're roasting in the oven, and they're going to get nice and crispy. And in this pan over here, I forgot, I also need some garlic. So about 1 teaspoon of grated garlic in each pan. And I am going to mix everything up with my hands in about a second. This pan over here is going to get 3 cups of chicken broth. If you want to keep it vegetarian, you can put water or vegetable broth. It's up to you. The potatoes are pretty much going to be covered in the broth. Give everything a nice mix. And I'm just going to toss these potatoes together so everything is evenly coated. If you want to, you can add about 1/4 teaspoon of cumin powder to this. That would be good, and a pinch of crushed red pepper flakes. So the oven is preheated to 400 degrees Fahrenheit. Both of these are going to go on the center rack, and they're going to cook until the potatoes are fork tender. I'm going to wait for the ones in the little quarter sheet pan to get beautiful color and some crispy edges all over the tops of them. And the ones that are going to be cooking in the broth are going to take a little bit longer. They might take up till 1.5 hours to be ready. So keep an eye on them. Each oven bakes differently. I'll show you what they look like as soon as they come out. If the ones with the that we're going to cook kind of dry, if they're uncooked and the liquid has evaporated, you could go in and add a quarter cup more of water or chicken broth in there to help them cook a little bit faster. But I'll show you what they look like as soon as they come out. So the potatoes are ready. The ones with the broth took about an hour and a half to be ready, and the other ones without the broth took an hour and 15 minutes. I did run the ones without the broth under the broiler for the last 5 minutes so they could get extra crispy and more color. You can do the same for the tray that has the broth in it if you want some crispy bits on top of the potatoes and more color. I just opted to not do that. I like all that broth in there. Once they come out of the oven, there is still going to be a lot of sauce in there. And as they sit and the potatoes absorb all that sauce, it's going to be considerably less, but that has a lot of flavor. So serve this alongside grilled chicken or roasted chicken, fish. Really, it goes alongside anything, and it's always a side at a Greek party on the table. It's always like something that's on the table that's always made at every party that I've ever been to or pretty much ever hosted. Now it's time for the taste test. You don't have to force me to eat potatoes. So for the crispy ones, I'm going to go for the one on the corner because that tends to be more crispy than the other ones. And as you see, they're fork tender. They're going to be really soft on the inside. Perfect. Soft on the inside, full of flavor, crispy on the outside. Exactly what you're looking for. Now with another fork, I'm going to go in for the saucy ones. The way I like to eat the saucy ones, I like to put them in the bowl and ladle in some of the sauce and mash them up and eat them. That's how I ate them as a kid. I still like to eat it that way, but we're going to go for them this way for now. So comforting and delicious. They melt in your mouth. The recipes are going to be on dimitrasdishes.com. Head on over there to get the exact measurements. You could print them out. Let me know what you guys think, which way you prefer in the comment section down below. And I'll see you back here next time with another recipe. Guest us.